Alright, welcome to this week's weekly outlook. Today is October 6th, 2024. It is a Sunday morning, and we're going to be taking a look at what we think could happen. Now, understand this video is pure speculation. It is simply my best guess on what could happen this week using ICT concepts. I have been wrong before, and I could be wrong this week, but the idea is every single week I am going to get better with my predictions, and we are going to get better at trading together. So if you like this type of content, definitely consider subscribing, leaving a like, and checking out my completely free Discord. The link for that is in my bio. So in the weekly recap, I discussed how this weekly fair value gap was the draw on liquidity. I noted how last week we pushed into the midpoint of this order block. You can see how we got a perfect reaction off of this midpoint, and you can also see that we pushed into this weekly fair value gap. So moving from one key level to another. Now if I go down to the daily time frame, you can see that's what led us to believe that this next week was going to push us lower. You can see that this did take us lower, and we filled this weekly fair value gap, and we got an SMT at the lows. So an SMT is when you have one asset that forms a low and then a lower low, and another asset that forms a low and then a higher low. When this happens at a key level, it creates a high probability situation that you could have a reversal. You'll also note that we took out a lot of these trend line lows. So it was like it was setting up pretty good to reverse going into NFP, getting this SMT at the lows of this weekly fair value gap, going into NFP. So we then filled this 1 hour fair value gap and continued higher during NFP. So since this daily candle has closed back up now, although we have trend line liquidity down here, you can see that these lows are forming a trend line. It's low resistance liquidity. Although that is happening, to me, this seems like this is a buy model, because we had an SMT at the weekly lows. Let me go back and mark out this SMT here. We had an SMT at the weekly lows, and then we filled this weekly fair value gap. So I think it's fair to expect that we could at least target this swing high right here. That seems like a fair target to me, so I'm going to mark this out as our daily swing high. And then we also have our previous week's high as a draw on liquidity as well. So I'm going to mark this out. Previous week's high. Going back down to the lower time frame. So you can see how we swept this low into this weekly fair value gap. We got an SMT in the weekly fair value gap, and this to me seems like it could be low resistance going into this next week. It seems like this could be a buy model. But once again, these lows down here, these lows down here are low resistance liquidity, so it's not exactly clear if we're going to come down and take these lows out right away, or if we're going to come up and take out these highs first. But since this video is pure speculation, my guess is we're going to at least come up to this high, and then maybe this weekly previous week's high. So, but after that, I can't say for sure what's going to happen, because it seems to me like these are low resistance lows, so I would think that we're going to come back to these lows at some point. So I think that about covers it for this week's weekly outlook. We'll see if this is right, or we'll see if this is totally wrong. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.